Making headlines today, President Dr. Mohammad Moise praises the MNDF for its unwavering dedication to protecting the nation's peace and sovereignty on its 133rd anniversary. President Dr. Moise formally proposes the introduction of a preferential voting system in the Maldives. And Minister Said unveils major economic initiatives, including the expansion of international bunkering operations at a press conference held today.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to News. I'm Mumna Ismail, your host for today. President Dr. Mohammad Moise praises the Maldives National Defense Force, MNDF, for its unwavering dedication to protecting the nation's peace and sovereignty, emphasizing that the force will continue to adapt to evolving geopolitical dynamics.
In an address commemorating MNDF's 133rd anniversary, President Dr. Moise credited the Defense Force for maintaining the Maldives' independence under a unified government through their ongoing sacrifices. He noted that the MNDF consistently placed national interests above their personal lives and families, responding to crises with dedication to protect the Maldivian people. President Dr. Moise expressed confidence in the nation's continued sovereignty as long as this commitment persists. In a separate message on X, the president noted that the MNDF's passion, sacrifice and determination have ensured the continuation of Maldivian independence, which he described as the foundation of every success and achievement by the Maldivian people. The celebrations culminated in a military parade on April 19, presided over by President Dr. Moise alongside First Lady Madam Sajda Mohammed. The ceremonial march began at Bandara Koshi and concluded near the President's office, featuring the MNDF band performing traditional songs at 5 locations throughout the capital. The parade effectively showcased the armed forces' diverse contributions to national service, commemorating a military tradition that dates back to April 21, 1892, when formal military service was established in the Maldives.
President Dr. Mohammad Moise formally proposes the introduction of a preferential voting system in the Maldives. The proposal shared through the President's official WhatsApp channel on April 20 confirmed that preferential voting is the model he supports for future presidential elections. Under this system, voters rank candidates in order of preference, allowing for a single decisive round without the need for a runoff if no candidate secures an outright majority. The proposal follows the President's earlier remarks during Republic Day celebrations, where he indicated plans to consult the public on the possibility of abolishing the second round of presidential elections. The Attorney General's office is currently reviewing the legal framework to determine how such a system could be implemented. This suggestion has triggered a renewed public discourse, with members of the ruling People's National Congress, PNC, promoting the concept on social media under the hashtag preferential voting. Proponents argue that the shift would reduce election-related costs and improve efficiency by eliminating the need for 2 rounds of voting. Preferential voting systems are already in use in countries such as Australia and Ireland, as well as in select elections in the United Kingdom and the United States. These systems are widely regarded for promoting broader voter representation and enabling more decisive outcomes in closely contested races. While no formal decision has been taken, the President's proposal is being positioned as part of a wider strategy to modernize the electoral process. The Elections Commission of the Maldives has previously acknowledged the logistical and financial challenges associated with 2-round elections, further fueling calls for reform. In addition to the proposed voting system change, President Dr. Moise has also advocated for synchronizing presidential and parliamentary elections as a means to reduce costs and improve governance alignment. Today, we celebrate 133 years since the official establishment of a military in the Maldives. In over a century of service, the military has undergone significant changes, both in name and duty, to better serve the nation.
The defeat of the Portuguese occupation in Maldives is well documented in local history and law. What remains less known is that national hero Sultan Muhammad Taqur Fanul Auzam Siri Sawaditha Maharadun established the first non-structured military, land militiamen called Hagubekalung and naval militiamen called Halasin. However, the military in its present form was raised on April 21, 1892 during the reign of Sultan Ibrahim Nuruddin Siri Sundara Kattiribhavana Maharadun. This marked the birth of the army as we know it under the name Sifan. According to law, the Sultan was impressed by a foot drill display led by a graduate from a school in Galle, Sri Lanka, who evaluated the Western cadet drills showcased at his alma mater in Sri Lanka. Subsequently, this graduate, the Manikuge Ismail Didi, was instructed to train young Moldavian men in the Western military style. Firearms were introduced as well. Since then, Sifang primarily served as a ceremonial military entity. However, with changing times, the organization, which adopted the name National Security Service (NSS) in 1979, undertook broader responsibilities. They managed all policing and defense roles including law enforcement, national security, immigration and emigration, intelligence, and even presidential security. This overburdening led to unavoidable conflicts, resulting in further restructuring. On September 1, 2004, the police arm of NSS was separated to Maldives Police Service (MPS) under the Ministry of Home Affairs. On April 21, 2006, NSS was renamed as the Maldives National Defense Force (MNDF). Today, the Maldivian military has come a long way from its humble beginnings, boasting combat and maneuver forces such as the Coast Guard, Marine Corps, Air Corps, Fire and Rescue Services, in addition to support services including Service Corps, Defense Intelligence, Medical Corps, and Adjutant General Corps. MNDF now exhibits all hallmarks of a modern military service. This, coupled with the national spirit the troops continue to display, provides solace for the nation.
The government is set to operationalize the Maldives Development Bank, expand international bunkering services, and promote local entrepreneurship through a large-scale exhibition, according to Economic Development and Trade Minister Mohammad Said. He shared these updates during a press conference held today at the President's office.
Minister Said said the government is taking concrete steps to establish the Maldives Development Bank, addressing a gap that has long stalled national development. He noted that while the need for development financing has been discussed for years, previous administrations failed to act. President Dr. Mohammad Moise, he said, has now taken that long-awaited step. The bank will not function as a traditional commercial institution, but will serve as a vehicle to access international financial markets, allowing the government to raise funds for major infrastructure and development projects. It will also support the completion of stalled resort developments and other unfinished ventures. All licensing and administrative groundwork has reportedly been completed, with the Ministry of Finance and Planning now moving forward with operations. Minister Said acknowledged that the bank's CEO had recently stepped down but reaffirmed the government's commitment to making the bank fully functional over time. He also called on opposition parties to support the initiative for the sake of long-term economic progress. The minister also announced that the government has begun drafting legislation to regulate international bunkering services. He explained that consultations are ongoing with local companies involved in the sector following the launch of bunkering operations in Ihavandippolu in September 2024. These services are currently being managed by the State Trading Organization (STO) without disruption. Plans are in place to further develop port infrastructure in the region, and preliminary work has already begun on the new port at Ha Alif Horafushi. Minister Said said that even a 1% share of the global bunkering market could generate up to $400 million annually for the Maldives. This expansion is part of the Maldives Economic Gateway project, which the minister described as the largest state-led development initiative in the country's north. As part of this project, the government signed a $100 million framework agreement in November 2024 with Singapore's Capital Asia Invest Fund to develop Ihavandippolu Port and related services through the Maldives Industrial Free Zone Company. The minister also spoke about the upcoming Divehinge Ufeduntari Kamuge Mauras 2025, highlighting its strong public response. Over 256 participants have registered so far, with more than 4,400 local products submitted. He said the exhibition, organized in partnership with the Business Centre Corporation (BCC), is being held on a larger scale this year under the direction of President Dr. Moise. Set to take place at Hurumala Central Park, the event will feature dedicated zones and include international participants to expand market access for Maldivian-made goods. Applications remain open until April 25, and organizers have lifted previous limits on the number of products that can be displayed in an effort to increase accessibility and encourage broader participation. Minister Said emphasized that the event is not merely an exhibition, but a platform to create new opportunities for local entrepreneurs, both domestically and internationally.
Ini kandam MBB Vimesan
After Gahan Nasiwari, come Nasiwari, Enha Sofia,
Mihama can Ramlomo in the Korea promotion. Adibuna,
Twister of Mati, come via Fareka, Kasa, but Inam, Pansa Visa Sofia, Vansa Sofia, everybody in Nam, had the pass has coffee. Over Honda, really sick to Istihari Kamagi, on the Kill, February being April, Vista.
You san Fia Roda Hadia Marango.
You san Fiara Roda Hadia promotion.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Social and Family Development introduces an in-office childcare space to support working parents. The ministry stated that establishing a childcare space in offices is a crucial step in helping working parents fulfill their family responsibilities. The ministry emphasized that the initiative is particularly significant for female employees as it supports their mental well-being and provides a safe environment for their children. Ministry highlighted that these small steps will ultimately enhance workspace productivity. This initiative will promote job satisfaction and help sustain well-performing employees and increase their productivity in the long run. In addition, the ministry also mentioned that this will create a family-friendly environment in the workplace. The Ministry of Homeland Security and Technology opens investment opportunities for two major infrastructure projects in Uturutila, the Central Prison and the Hope Island Rehabilitation Facility. In a public call for expressions of interest, EOI, the ministry invited investors to submit proposals on how to finance the development of these projects through profitable models. The initiative aims to consolidate all prison facilities into one central location and establish a dedicated rehabilitation center to support the reintegration of juvenile offenders into society. Interested investors may propose to undertake the projects through one of four models. Investors can choose the complete development model, which involves full development of the projects, including land reclamation and construction, in exchange for Dalwani Island, its lagoon, and 2 additional lagoons. Investors may also request reduced tax and rent rates for business operations on Wani. Another option is the construction-only model, which offers construction services in exchange for lagoon areas for commercial use. The hybrid model allows for partial construction and land reclamation in return for lagoon allocations. Finally, the operational management option enables sustainable operation of parts of the island to minimize government expenditure. Maldives officially inaugurates its first seaweed cultivation project, marking a significant step towards expanding the country's mariculture industry. The project, launched on April 20 by the Minister of Fisheries and Ocean Resources, Ahmad Shyam, in Bafehendu, is led by the private company Floating Acres. This project follows a comprehensive study by FAO, which investigated the potential for seaweed farming in the Maldives. The FAO's report confirmed that seaweed, locally known as modvina, can be successfully cultivated in the country's waters. Encouraged by these findings, Floating Acres has proceeded with the launch of the project. The initiative is part of broader efforts to utilize ocean resources for economic development. The project aims to create new employment opportunities, particularly for youth and women in the islands, while also introducing modern technologies and expanding the country's export income. Floating Acres' focus is to make mariculture a viable and profitable industry for local communities, thereby diversifying the nation's economy. As a part of President Dr. Mohamed Moi's policy to promote the sustainable use of ocean resources, this policy seeks to reduce the country's dependence on traditional industries like tourism and establish new sustainable industries that can drive long-term economic growth. In addition to its economic potential, the project is also seen as an environmentally sustainable alternative to traditional agriculture. Seaweed farming has a minimal ecological footprint, offering a way to balance economic development with environmental preservation. Business assistance loan products offered by the SME Development Finance Corporation, SDFC, are available to all Maldivians with the aim of supporting both new and existing businesses, according to the corporation's representatives. Speaking on MMTV's Bodu Habar program, SDFC Customer Service Representative Farila Abdul Qadir said, the loan schemes can be used for a wide range of purposes and have seen growing interest from the public. Also appearing on the program, SDFC Senior Business Specialty Support Officer Hushama Hassan highlighted that the corporation's core mission is to offer accessible financing solutions to individuals who may face challenges securing loans through conventional channels. SDFC was established in 2019 to provide financial support for micro, small and medium enterprises. The corporation offers funding aimed at launching, sustaining and expanding businesses across various economic sectors. SDFC continues to promote sustainable business development through simplified financing opportunities. That's all for today. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a lovely day.